Hey guys, welcome to episode 6 of On the Table's Top. Tonight is a special episode where we're having multiple guests and we're attempting a new system, the Game of Thrones, a Song of Ice and Fire RPG. We're attempting the House War variant of the rules where each of us will be playing our own noble houses. I am Arthur Perkins. Welcome to the kingdom of APGamingREAL. And as a brother of the Night's Watch, I welcome you. Let me introduce my fellow guests, starting with the wonderful artist tonight, Aracito. Arrow, I know you're busy drawing extraneous hair. What can you tell us about yourself?
Hey, I'm Roleplaying, and I'm an artist. I do a lot of stuff, commissions and other anime things. I don't stream much. I just probably only stream over here on the tabletop when AP wants it. And if you want to follow me or see what I got, you can go to at bcurvello.
There it is, that live drawing stuff.
You can find me there.
You might notice we have a new overlay tonight. We have to accommodate so much that's happening in this game. But don't worry, you'll be able to see everything that's going on. Arrow, I just want to emphasize that on my Discord, there is an increasing and alarming number of people who have your drawings as
I
their
know.
icons. Like, it's getting hard to tell the random internet pictures from you at this point. You're everywhere. There's like 8 people,
I know,
including
man.
Pondo.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Newcomer Pondo.
I have no regrets.
All right, Pondo, let's
Good
introduce you. I believe you are now a professional full-time XCOM 2 streamer.
I wouldn't say professional. I've been streaming. I streamed today and yesterday and the other day. Yeah, no, I'm Pondo or PondoTheMad. I play video games and stuff. Just recently I've been doing XCOM, trying to get through that as quickly as possible, getting ready for the DLC coming in late August. Actually, this month. I now notice it's the 1st of August.
True. It is the 1st of August. Did you know it's National Girlfriend's Day? Shout out to anyone who is or has a girlfriend. You're the best.
In this stream, at least my stream. Sorry, guys.
Lexi, let's hop over to you. You're very pink today.
I am very pink. Unfortunately, I'm on my. We have my. I'm having 2 different webcams
Cameras.
going on.
Yep.
Yeah, so this one's a little bit less saturated, but yes, I am quite pink, really, and I have a crown, cosplaying, as you might say, for one of my main characters in this game. So I'm super excited.
If you are watching live, you should definitely multi-twitch to LexiTails. Because our camera quality on Lexi stream is so much higher.
Yeah.
In order to accommodate the ability to get the drawings on the screen for Aracito in full HD, everybody else has to take a massive hit on my monitor.
I feel bad.
No, they don't need to
It's
see
like
me.
that.
It's Pondo and Lexi we need to worry about. You're like a full-time League of Legends streamer now, right?
Yeah,
Occasional
that's
Overwatch.
occasional Overwatch when I'm feeling kind of trying to change up the thing. I'm getting less salty when I play Overwatch, so it's kind of nice to take a break. But yeah, I've really kind of invested myself into the salt that is League of Legends. I guess that is kind of my life right now.
You're gold
That
level now, right? Gold
yeah,
ranking, league.
gold flex. I've been doing solo duo, so that's my next step is doing that. So I guess actually other than league, I've been doing streams with you. I guess actually quite a few the past couple weeks now. We have another one on the 15th.
Yeah, we got the Magical Girls Part 2.
Yeah,
Sweet.
I'm so glad you and Pondo both decided to join this stream, because as I was saying the other night, finding the cast for this has been a nightmare. We're actually supposed to have Virgil on, and he had problems. Like, I've gone through 16 people now. It's almost like all my characters keep getting killed off. Bum, bum, bum. Speaking of characters, let's introduce who we're playing. Pondo, I believe this is you being made on screen right now.
It is, and his glorious mustache.
Tell us a little bit about House Winewood before we jump into things.
House Winewood is I think it was a old. It's not. Yeah, it's old. It's older. It's old. It ascended from. It started out from essentially nothing, and then they started a gold mine in the hills they had. So it ascended from there, and then they improved the infrastructure over time. But recently, there's been a revolt of the poor, and we had to kick people out.
It's rough. That's rough. The poor don't like being kicked out.
Yeah.
Oh man, I love all this beautiful sigilling up and down the clothing.
Oh,
So
look at
good.
that.
That's some elite level stuff. Who are the other members of House Winewood that you will also be playing tonight?
It would be my heir, Lady Emmeline, my anointed knight, Sir Matthias, and I guess my Meister Francis.
Maester.
then-
Maester.
A
please.
Maester. Yes, I'm sorry.
5%.
And my hedge knight, Williams.
You have another hedge knight?
I have anointed knight and hedge knight.
Oh, there we go. All right, I got it. Yep. So, Lexi, let's talk about your house. House cat.
House cat. Yeah, actually, that sounds pretty funny when you say it out loud.
know.
Like, it's
House
like a
cat.
House cat. Well, House of Cat is actually a very ancient house, whose roots spring up from what some might consider villainy, but others might what one person might consider villainy, another one might consider it
Ruthless
revolution.
pragmatism, you know?
Oh, I was thinking more like, revolution, cleansing the old state, and bringing a better one. But, to each their own. It's all about perspective. But, we've had a pretty good, history after that, except for a scandal that kind of happened kind of midway through our ordeal. But even with that, we continue to kind of push forward and ascend higher, than before. So, I mean, we lost a few people, but overall, we gained a lot of influence in the realm and power. And ultimately, isn't that what you're striving for as a house? More influence and more power.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Who are the other members of House Cat that we'll be seeing tonight?
So the main person will be Lady Cat. She is the lady of the house. She's very strong, independent. She is trains in the arts of subterfuge and the like. I won't divulge too much. I don't want to give away any of her, skills to possible enemies. She has a male heir, Caracol. And there's also who is her nephew. And then there's a noble, Leofric, who is living with us, kind of like you think of Theon Greyjoy.
He's a ward. Yeah.
A ward, exactly. As well as we have an anointed knight, Sir Ferrand, who is battle commander and just, overall badass. To round out the thing, we have a Maester Alessio, and a Septa, which is Lexia.
All right. Well, sometimes your name, when I say it, will activate my Alexa. And I feel like the closer I get to that name, the more it's going to turn on and start asking me questions all freaking night. It's bad. I'm actually playing two houses tonight. They are bad people, mostly. Actually, no. Well, we'll find out. The first is House Zephyr, which is led by Zephiel Zephyr, his wife Saramina, their steward Lysanderoth Krashenko, and their septa Martha. And they are of the noble line of King's Landing. They owe their allegiance directly to King Robert Baratheon. The other house is House Halloward, who are bannermen of the Tullys, led by Hallister Halloward, his son Jeremiah. They employ a, let's call it a hedge knight and be very generous, named Culloden Storms. And the septon of their faith is Earth. So, before we get this kicked off, there's a little extra thing I wanted to test out. This whole night is just nothing but testing entirely new things. A new overlay, a new game, a new way of playing it, but also a new audience interaction mechanic. At the end of every month of play, there will be a role called House Fortunes. And I'd like the audience to pick their favorite color, purple or pink, and change your name in the APGamingREAL chat to that color to display your loyalty to your house. When House Fortunes comes along, we'll see which house is more popular, and they'll get a bump to their role. Pondo, what are your house words, just to see if we can get the audience behind you?
My house words. Let me look what up.
Don't worry, I know what they are. They're bad.
Yes. Wealth can truly be built from dirt.
Okay. Lexi, your house words are also bad. Tell us about
that's
house.
bad.
We're not nice people.
You know, it's kind of like it's a pun. So I guess I guess it depends on how you feel about puns.
Sure.
The night is dark and full of tales.
Of course.
So be prepared.
Of course. Incidentally, be prepared is also the house motto of House Sapphire. And the house motto of Holloward is, we take what we need. So I think we know who the bad guy is. One final note as we get started. We will be discussing things that are very much spoilers for Season 1 and Season 2 of Game of Thrones. But in chat, please do not discuss anything beyond that. Especially not Season 6 or 7. Bans will be handed out judiciously. If anything happens after a White Walker's been seen, pretend you haven't seen it yet and don't talk about it. We begin with the Game of Thrones song, da da, and all the rotating stuff and places bumping, and let's hope that this actually works out. Boom. All right, perfect. It did work. Overlay successful.
Nice.
We find ourselves along a lonely stretch of the Gold Road, west of King's Landing, stretching from Zephyr's noble house to the Sony Seps, to the westerlands of Wyanwood. And each of these noble houses has returned all of their heirs, all of their servants and nobles and armies, because word has come from King's Landing. The king is dead. Robert Baratheon has been tusked by a boar and has fallen. In his place, Ned Stark has treasonously attempted to take control of the throne. His son, Robb Stark, has declared himself king in the north. The Greyjoys are in rebellion. Renly Baratheon and Stannis Baratheon both claim that the current King Joffrey is a incestuous bastard and that they have the right to rule. It's a dark time for the Seven Kingdoms, and it is up to you to guide your houses through this era. So, we see here that we have all of our characters. Every month, we'll be moving our characters either into places that are important within our own lands or to other lands. When characters from different factions meet during the month, we'll zoom in there and have a scene. Once all scenes are done, the month will end. We'll do a House Fortunes roll, and we'll move into the next month. So at first, I thought we might do this secretly, but then I realized that would be really dumb. So we're actually going to take turns and do it one at a time. Because Lexi has the most characters and armies, she will be moving first, choosing where to dispatch. And we'll go clockwise from there.
Okay.
So any of the places that are on the map, from a tower, a mountain, a woods, the towns, the septs, any place like that, you can place one of your characters or armies there.
And this map is on roll 20, is that right?
Yes, it's on roll 20.
Let me zoom out. We got a lot of stuff up here.
True.
Yeah, I don't know if it's loading or not.
I'm liking these earrings, by the way, Arisido.
Let's see. I was
They're
looking at your
excellent.
stream, but I'm not seeing this map popping up for me.
Not seeing the map. Oh my goodness, you're right. All right, this should fix it.
We have
hopefully-
like no starting relations, correct? with
I
the
feel like
other
that'd be
houses?
weird to say that you don't. You've been neighbors for many years.
Right. I guess before I make my move, I'd like to, I guess, if it's possible, know a little bit more background on, who is friendly and who is not. Is there any way to find that out before I do my turn?
Sure.
or-
House Sapphire, they've been friends of yours for some time.
Okay.
Their noble lady, Lady Saramina, stops by all of the other noble houses in the area for like goodwill tours. They're not very wealthy over there, but they are hosting a tournament, not this month, but next month. And it's rumored that Lady Saramina will be attempting the rounds in order to gather support and make sure everybody's still showing up in this shocking time of revolting change.
Okay.
House Halloward, they have recently learned that the Lannisters have declared war on House Tully and are beginning the siege of Riverrun. It's probable that Halloward and Wyanwood are going to have some pretty serious beef.
I see.
Halloward, his wife died a few years back, and I feel like he's probably been courting the Lady Cat. Unsuccessfully, but you can tell me otherwise.
The heir, you mean his
Yeah.
the monopoly?
No, I mean the old. So Hallister is very old.
Right.
He's in his 60s, and his son's about 18. Hallister looks like a guy that you would get to dig graves. That's been thrown into some very nice robes.
Okay. I see. And this is Winewood, correct?
No, that's Halloward. Winewood is
Oh.
Pondo.
Okay.
Oh, up there.
And so Holloward's been trying to court me.
Yes.
All right, I've seen. So then for my first move, I see there's a road from
There
my
is a road.
small town to the river.
No, that's actually the river to the larger river.
River to the larger river.
Yep.
Okay, tributary. So to speak.
Assume that there are roads that connect you to the Gold Road, but the Gold Road is like the King's Road. It's a very big, major road.
Okay. Well, for my first move, what I would like to do is send my heir, Caracal, to Winewood in a diplomatic mission to discuss relations between between House of Cats and their house. Lady Cat will stay in the tower.
Let's do characters one at a time. We'll
Okay.
deploy as goes. So you want to move Air Cat over to Winewood?
Correct.
All right.
I don't want to bring.
I think you should be able to move the token.
Okay. No. Okay. Let me actually. I'll
If
have this full
I've-
screen.
If I've done this correctly.
All right. Let me zoom in now.
Pondo, what would you like to do?
Air Cat.
Um,
I'll put this over here so people can.
you said Holloward's probably going to try to start something.
So, I mean, Tywin's got Jaime Lannister and all his boys attacking the River Run, right? Like it's under siege.
Yeah.
The Lannisters hit them first. These guys aren't being sieged, and they haven't liked you for generations.
Right.
Everyone that's a betting man is betting the two of you are going to go to war soon.
Well,
What's your plan?
I can use any of my is the military units?
You
Do I move
you
those
can
as well?
place them. Yep.
I think I'll place my archers in the city.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna move Hallister Halloward to the cat hold. I forget what you named the town, but he goes there.
Did not name it actually. I was slacking. Too busy on the cosplay, I guess.
Saramina will move to Lionwood. House Cat.
Okay. Next, I'd like to take my maester and send it to Zephyr on a similar mission in Winewood.
Doubling down on me, huh?
Huh? No, I'm just, securing my position in the territory.
Winewood, your move.
I will keep Sir Matthias in Winewood as well.
Okay. Halloward sends their heir Jeremiah to Winewood. Zephyr sends their septa to their sept. House Cat.
I would like to move. I'll move my anointed knights into my small town. Actually, can I open discussions with Zephyr, House Zephyr, my maester?
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
that was your move last time, right? You were moving your maester to Zephyr?
Yes, I
Yep.
forgot to do that.
Yep.
And I would like to talk with hopefully the lady of the house.
Well, the lady of the house moved to Winewood.
That's right.
You don't. So, if anyone's there to talk to in Zephyr when we finish placing characters, we'll do a scene with everybody that's in each location.
Okay.
So, where do you want to move people now? We're just doing like placement.
Okay, I want to move my I'll move my my scouts just south of Hollow, or just outside the forest perimeter here, kind of patrolling the area.
Winewood?
I will move my heir over to Cat.
Culloden Storms is going to move to Halloward's town, and Zephyr will move to their Marshland Bog, and is interested to speak with Maester Cat about what exactly they're doing here. House Cat?
Maester? Like you said the maester from Holloward? Sorry, I was moving the getting rid of those big old icons. So
Holloward moved their hedge knight to their own town, and the Lord of Zephyr has moved into his own town in order to speak with the Maester of House Cat.
Oh, awesome. Okay.
So at the end of the placement, we'll talk.
We'll talk. All
House
right.
Cat, it's your turn to place.
Okay. So Is that a building Lady Cat is on? Is that the sept? Or is that the sept? Or is that the
That is the
like,
sept. The tower is hidden right up here at the top of the mountaintop.
Oh, I see. I see. Oh, great placement. I'd actually like to move some archers into that tower right there. One of my things. Yeah.
I'm really loving this crown arrow, especially with all the just
Oh,
like
that looks
little
so
things
nice.
going on with it.
I'll move this over so people can see.
Pondo, to you.
I will send my Meister to is it Stony Sept?
Yep.
Send it to Stony Sept.
Interesting. They will send their sept into Stony Sept as well. And Zephyr performs its last move, which is to keep its elite house guards around Zephyr. Cat.
Okay. I'm going to send my anointed knight over to the tower as well to oversee the troops there.
Winewood.
Sebastian will stay in Winewood.
All right. Halloward
Closer.
will assign their garrison to their own town. Cat.
My cavalry in between the turret or the tower, small town, and my scouts.
Winewood. Pondo.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Too busy smug grinning all day.
I will keep my infantry. I'll take my support and put it to the tower.
All right. Halloward is going to assign their elite cavalry to stay at home. How's Cat?
I'm going to send my nobleman, or whatever his name was Leofric, to command the cavalry and scouts on their various duties.
That's a good plan because uncommanded units tend to do very poorly in warfare.
Yes, I've known.
Winewood.
I will send my hedge knight over to Cat with Emmeline.
And Hallister. Man, that's gonna be a meeting. The archers of Halloward are also sticking around at home. How's Cat?
I'm going to move my support into the forest to take care of the troops out on the grounds.
Winewood.
I'll take my infantry and put them in the city.
Take my support and put them in the city as well. Cat.
Those were your archers.
Yes, you are correct. Don't worry, they're all going to the same.
You.
That's true. They're all going to the same place.
It's like we're
Okay.
preparing for war.
Yeah.
I guess what I'll then do is move these archers into my small town.
Winewood.
My guerrillas are going to be in the forest to the north of my. I can't.
Just saying.
I don't have control of my guerrillas, but they're going into the forest to the north of my
I'll
city.
get you your guerrillas. They ain't happy, but they're feeling glad. Archers to Halloward City, and I believe that leaves everything else to Cat.
Okay, I'm going to move Lady Cat into the town. I'm going to move my Septa to well, I'm actually gonna take her to Stony Septa as well.
Oh boy. All right, what scene interests us here? What do we want to do first? It looks like we have some very definite collisions around the town of Cat, the town of Winewood, the Stony Sept, and House Sapphire.
Well, I know I personally would like to have discussions with House Zephyr.
Okay.
Um,
Let's open there.
okay.
Zephiel Zephyr could be a Sephiroth stand-in. He's tall, kind of alabaster, long silver hair. He was a Bishonen when he was younger. He has a ridiculously long Valerian steel sword that everyone admires, and he's rumored to still be a very good swordsman. He meets you in the keep of his people, and welcomes the Maester. I'm sorry, what was his name?
It was Mr. Alessio? Yeah, Meister Alessio. Let me move this over here so I can look at that.
So he's doing the like spider thing where he's got his fingers all steepled and says, Maester Alessio, what a pleasant surprise to find you in the ancestral home of the Zephyrs.
Yes. Good day, Zephiel, and I would like to say thank you so much for welcoming me here in open arms. As you know, there have been quite a few political upheavals in Westeros, and House of Cat values their relation with Zephyr, and we were just wanting to discuss your stance going forward and hopefully to strengthen our ties with the upcoming storm that is sure to come.
Let me ask, Maester Alessio, what is the House of Cat's stance on Renly Baratheon?
Well, to be honest, I think the matter could use a bit more investigation. House of Cat is not want to immediately go into aggressive maneuvers, but we would indeed like to have a proper idea of who should be the
king.
new heir. The king, yes. And of course, depending on those findings, we'll have to act accordingly. You know, maybe none of them are fit to rule.
I think he's going to press you here enough that
Okay.
I wonder if we want to enter into an intrigue.
Okay.
Okay? So we start by sharing objectives. These are things
Okay.
that we as we as players want to have happen. Zephiel's objective is to have Maester Alessio go home and convince the Cat House to support Renly Baratheon.
Okay. Honestly, the Maester Alessio's plan is to secure the I wouldn't want to say feeble alliance, but the small alliance that is between Zephyr and House of Cat. Doesn't mean it has to be, yeah.
So he wants to make sure that we're cool, right?
We're cool, right? If shit hits the fan, I know I can give you a call and you'll have my back.
Indeed.
Type of thing.
All right. So, step 2. We've done steps 1 and 2 and 3. So, what you want is friendship, and what he wants is a service. Step 4, we set a disposition.
Okay.
This is on page 180. Dispositions are a bit like your sword and shield. The more friendly you are to somebody, the better it is for you to get them on your side. You'll get a bonus. However,
Okay.
you'll take very serious penalties to getting hit in return. It suggests that you start at amiable with people that you don't know. However, I'll tell you that Zephiel is going to choose to be friendly because he recognizes the long-standing bonds between houses.
Agreed. I would also like to recognize that as well. Not going to disrespect the bond that has been forged over time from the two houses.
Okay. So while we are using friendly, we take 2 to our DR, which will help negate hits that we take. Any dice that we roll for deception are at a -1, and any dice we roll for persuasion are at a +3.
Okay.
Next, we do initiative. To determine who goes first, each participant rolls a status test. Bonuses from reputation apply.
Okay. I didn't actually jot down the
There's a Maester sheet, right? I think it's right here.
football bear. Yeah, it's aha.
Yep, it's got everything you need. They are status 4, and Zephiel is also status 4. So it's going to be a roll-off.
Love to do this. You just roll 1d6.
So you roll a d6 for each level of status that the Maester has. So it's going to be a 4d6.
Okay.
And you see who gets the higher.
Okay.
17 is a good roll. Did you do slash roll?
No, I did not.
Oh no! All right.
I
Okay.
won.
All right. All right. Very well. You will be acting first this round and every round.
Okay.
Next up, we choose our technique. Bargain, charm, convince, incite, intimidate, seduce, or taunt. Depending on which technique you use, you can ask different things on the outcome, but the important part is how you influence people. So, for instance, charm uses your persuasion.
I would want to use charm or the it's the
Charm.
technique. Here we go. Bargain, charm, convince. And that will go off of convince. I assume go off of persuasion as well.
So it depends on whether you want to lie or not. So, for instance, if you are using charm and you want to persuade someone, you roll the charm skill. However, if you want to charm somebody and you're lying, you use your acting skill.
Okay. No, I just really want to persuade. There's no real mission here to any dubious measures. Just check in the status between the two. I just want to convince that it is in both of our interests to continue to or to even strengthen the bonds between the two houses.
Excellent. Zephiel will also choose to charm. So the next step now is role-playing, and at the end of a short scene that we're going to act out, we'll roll.
Okay.
So Zephiel will lean forward slightly, kind of more chummy and less serious, and say, Maester Alessio, you've served House Cat for a long time, and I've always felt that the Lady Cat is something of a little sister to me. I would hate to see House Cat fall to the wayside because they did not support the true king. As a house in the Reach, it should be no surprise that the Tyrells support Renly Baratheon. Both of the heirs, Marjorie and Loris, work directly for the king. Would it not be best for your house to support your own liege lords and the true king of the Seven Kingdoms at the same time?
Well, I think that there's we cannot just look at that alone. You have to understand that there are many houses across Westeros, and these are times of uncertainty. And it is not much. My mission here is not to, do we support this king or that king? It is who will have our back and whose back shall we have, because we do not know what the coming days will bring. Um, so I don't think that it is enough to say that we support a certain king, but I think it is necessary to strengthen alliances with longtime friends, uh, in order to prepare for the unexpected. And as we both know, being of slightly older uh, age in the realm, Westeros is full of uncertainty. There are many houses with their own agenda, and we want to make sure that um, we have friends in the area, and that's our agenda is to support each other.
Very well. So let's do some rolling.
Okay.
Is going to. Well, you get to roll first because you are the attacking house.
Okay.
So you will roll your charm dice, which should be persuasion if you have that. If not, it's one of the other skills. See here.
Yeah, I have persuasion. Persuasion 3.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, you roll persuasion 3.
I do 3d6.
Yep. You are attempting to beat difficulty 9. You do. Excellent. And you beat it by 3 points. The rating that we had chosen was 2 for our DAR. Oh, I'm sorry. You actually get a +3 because you get +3 to all persuasion rolls with your friendly status.
Oh, awesome.
So that's a 15 versus a 9. That hits very hard. He's going to take a 6-point hit. His DR is 2, which means he takes 4 points.
Okay.
That's really quite terrible for him. That will nearly almost defeat him. So instead, he will probably take a hit to his composure.
Okay.
Let's see how this works. I haven't done this yet, but it's not going to be good for him. He can take a frustration. You subtract this value of influence. Your opponent gets hit. Right, there it goes. Each point of frustration removes an amount of influence equal to your will rank. However, each point of frustration gained imposes -1 dice. Ooh, no, that's really bad. Is there another thing I can do? No, I'm going to have to take that huge hit. All right. Yeah, so he gets a little frustrated over this. But, yes, he will keep at composure 6 and take the first of 3 frustration points. If he loses all 3 frustration, he's going to lose his shit and just get angry and do whatever you want. Alternatively, if he's ever reduced to 0 composure, the same thing will happen, but he won't be, like, angry about it. He'll just be like, okay, this is a thing.
Is there a way to reduce frustration?
Only a time outside of the battle. Once you take frustration, you're frustrated. At the end of an intrigue, all accumulated frustration is removed.
Okay.
All right. Now he gets to roll. And he is rolling 3d6, and he gets +3 just like you. He hits for 15 as well. So let's take a look at your Maester's character sheet here. They have a intrigue defense of 10. So 5 points go through. You have a DR, you have a disposition rating of 2 from being friendly. So you take a 3-point hit to your 9-point composure, bringing you down to 6.
Okay.
If you'd like to, you can also attempt to wipe this away by spending a point of frustration, taking -1 die to all tests in future rounds, and removing the damage.
No, I think I'm okay.
Okay.
That.
All right. Do you feel that the issue here is resolved? Or do we go again? Is there a compromise we can offer?
I would like to. I mean, I would be up for discussing a compromise.
All right.
Possible.
Here, I think this is the compromise then. If Zephiel announces a close relationship with House Cat announces their support for Renly Baratheon. I think that's the only compromise that we can put on the table with the role playing. How do you feel about that? If not, we can go back and do another round.
Well, that's what I'm trying to decide because I don't know the stances of the
it's
other
rough.
houses in the area. And Zephyr is one of the weaker houses. Well,
It's true, they are quite weak. They only have one military unit.
Let me take a look at the map real quick. Let me take a look at Winewood.
Master Alessio is just like sitting back, cleaning his glasses, taking a deep drink of wine, looking out the window, anything to buy time.
Give me 1 second. 1 second. I'll have another go.
All right, let's do it. We get to pick our techniques again.
Okay.
You're the lead, so you get to pick first.
Okay. I guess I'll do I'll bargain this time.
Interesting. That's using your cunning.
Yes.
Right. Fantastic. He is going to try to charm again.
Okay.
Has your objective changed?
No. I still want
Okay.
to.
His objective is the same.
Okay.
All right. For role playing, I think he's going to lean sideways in his seat. Mr. Alessio, I would not be remiss in strengthening the ties with House Cat, but we cannot be seen as being on the losing side of this. As long as House Cat is unwilling to commit in any direction, they will be the enemy of every direction.
I would like to refute that point. I feel that a neutral stance leaves many options on the battlefield. Yeah, I think you can agree that the wise people err on the side of caution, especially in matters of such grave importance as this. You must understand that not only must we consider the name of House Cat, we must also consider our peoples and their livelihood. That being said, I would like to bargain with you, and I will say that if you will announce your ties with House Cat, should any military aggression come your way, that we will be there to help you. As you know, we have lots of influence in the area and power, and I'm sure that in these uncertain times, any help will be acceptable.
One cannot deny the power of House Cat's influence. Some say they have ended up being the most influential house of this area, which is why it's so much more important that they do not stay neutral. Did not Tywin Lannister himself say, after the battle for King's Landing just a few decades ago, that his neutrality led him to take extreme and violent actions in regards to Rhaegar and their children? Neutrality is no blessing in times such as these. All it leads to is children under a red cloak.
I do not agree with that. And it would be remiss to compare Lady Cat to Lord Tywin. That is quite an
Yeah.
affront.
Zephiel will
that.
definitely laugh at that. Indeed not.
Uh,
Let's
you should
roll.
be careful of what you say. Right?
You're hitting first.
17.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that's real bad. That's real
Ow.
bad.
Ow. Ow.
I mean, that's gonna defeat him. Let's see if his counterpunch can do anything. He's rolling 2d6 plus 3. He needs like
Or
two.
your AP hex AP.
No. You take no damage from that. You have 10 intrigue defense, and with 2 disposition rating, that's a 0. You're gonna completely overpower Zephyr with your argument, and he will agree.
That's pretty compelling.
It is pretty compelling. Very well. If House Cat wishes to stay allied with us, perhaps it is not necessary for them to choose a side quite yet. As long as they agree to stand with us in our hour of need.
Of course, this was the entire reason of my visiting you, Lord Zephyl. And I'm very happy to hear that you have come to see reason as is such. Do not doubt that House Cat does indeed and fully intend to support a certain candidate, but again, there seems to be quite a miss in the capital as right now, as of right now.
We will do what we can to assure King Renly of your loyalty when you feel the need to publicly announce it.
We will see. We will see. We will support who we feel is correct, who is right, whoever that might be.
All right, Pondo, I feel like we need to jump to the Lionwoods here, get you in on things. Your town is a mess. I'm just going to go ahead and say that outright. Like, there's a ton of people there.
Yes. Who do I have visiting, actually?
Sebastian, your Lord Sebastian is there. You have an
Yes.
archery unit there as well.
Yes.
Saramina Zephyr has come in order to speak to the heir of House Cat, who they heard would be there. She also would like to meet with Lord Sebastian. Jeremiah Halloward has shown up. Doesn't want to speak to anyone in particular, is just roaming the halls. And the heir to House Cat and Sir Matthias will have to tell me why they're there.
Well, the heir cat, Caracal, would like to meet with Lord Sebastian in order to ascertain the relations between House Cat and House Winewood in these uncertain times.
And who is Matthias? Oh, that's Pondo's. So he's like there. All right. So might I suggest a scene with Sebastian, Saramina, Caracal, and Jeremiah all together? And probably because of their status, Caracal would get to meet with Lord Sebastian first. Tell us what Winewood looks like. Set the scene for us, oh Lord.
He's sitting upon his golden throne.
I knew it was gonna do this. I knew it was gonna happen.
Holding his goblet of wine, looking at a map set up across like a board in front of him of what possibly you could do in case you had to go to war. Just there, hunched over with an arm, holding up his chin, swirling his wine as he thinks.
What's Caracal look like?
Caracal has about short length hair that is kind of cut at an angle, kind of crossed with bangs. He is quite broad and tall, and he is dressed quite comfortably, but still nice enough in order to respect the Winewood Hall that he is in. But in no means does he have is he fully armored, or he is not there. You know, he does not want to give a sense of danger, or that he feels that he is in danger in here. He is on a friendly mission.
Okay.
Probably has like a small sword on his side, though, just in case, bandits and the like.
Okay. Yes, come on, boy. What do you need?
Good eve, Lord Sebastian Winewood. Thank you so much for taking the time to meet me. I see that you are looking at that map quite studiously. And I'm sure it is for the similar reasons that have brought me here. As you know, there is great upheaval in the capital, and House Cat would like to assert in relations with the different houses in the region. I will admit that we have sent an envoy, Maester Alessio, to Zephyr, as we are very friendly with them, and we would like to cultivate our relations together should something devastating proceed to happen in the area. It is always good to know who has your back in these uncertain times. Would you not agree?
Oh, most certainly. But what do you mean by bad times? Are you talking about the extreme tension between the Winewoods and the Hallowards? Yes.
Well, as you know, well, I was privy to that, and that is actually another reason why I'm here. I feel that we have similar interests in that regard as well. But I was talking more of the war of succession that is currently going on in the capital between Rimley and Stannis Baratheon. And as such, allegiances are shifting. Again, these times are quite uncertain, and we want to do whatever is in our power to try to unite House Cat and House Winewood as two fairly leading houses in the region in order to protect both of our interests.
Let me ask, Winewood, is that something you're prepared to do immediately, or are we entering an intrigue?
I was about to ask if how.
If the answer is not yes or no, if there's any question about it, I think we can roll dice.
All right.
Is there a question about it? Can you be moved on this point?
The question is, how would they make? How exactly would we compensate? More like make a deal for our friendship or what we're looking. Allegiance.
I understand that tensions are quite high with Holloward, and I must admit that the Lord Holloward has been quite the pest to Lady Cat, to the point of disrespect. And as you know, that if you cannot respect a lady or lord of a house, that is the highest affront. As such, I would like to propose this to you. Winewood and Catland strategically sits in between House Holloward. It'd be fairly easy to send our troops north or northeast, and your troops east, in a peninsula movement in order to cease this tension that I'm sure has been ailing you for quite some time. Not only that, but it also helps secure the region, as we know that House of Fire is very friendly to us, and we assure you that, well, I'll stop there, actually. I am not proposing military action immediately. I am only promising that we will be there to act should the need or want arise.
And in return, what do you
return,
expect?
We expect the same. This is quite a fair
Indeed.
bargain, would you not admit? As you know, we are quite powerful, not only in influence, but also military, on the military front. And I think it would be to both of our houses' benefits for this military alliance that I am proposing.
There's a bit I can consider, especially since how war appears to be the upcoming problem. I prefer not to go to war because it can get very expensive, but at
Yes.
times it's unavoidable.
Right. And one thing you must understand, I would like to applaud you on how you've managed the region to acquire so much wealth in such a short amount of time. Your motto does do you justice in that, I must say. But yes, war can be quite expensive, but it can also be lucrative as well. Lands, and what better resource than peace of mind to your people, who will then not only be able to work better, but work harder, noting that they are free from the issue of possibly losing their land to Holloward.
Indeed, all few couple thousand of my people.
Well, that's even more reason, correct, to keep them safe.
I will consider this. Only to appear that I might be low in options in wars, and that their forces are much greater than mine. Although I do have more of a land advantage.
Land does not win wars.
I have no qualms
Men.
with the Catelyn or Lady Cat herself. Nor do I have qualms with Zephyr. Personally, I just want to be left the hell alone.
Quite. As you can imagine, so does Lady Cat. But here we have Lord Holloway constantly knocking on her door.
I mean, the man wants an heir, if he doesn't have one already. Maybe a different one. Maybe he's just an old sleazebag that doesn't want to
You have to understand.
die lonely.
You must understand, correct? You would not. A marriage between Lady Cat and Lord Holloward would actually harm you, would it not? Because then Holloward would be an ally of House Cat thereof. Not that she wants that to be, nor will it be, but you must understand that if that were to happen, that you might be in quite a pickle, so to speak. So please choose your words carefully.
Indeed. Well, tell Lady Cat herself to come by here when she can. We'll discuss more among this in person.
Thank you, my lord. I will do that. I appreciate you taking the time to hear me out and consider our proposal.
Indeed.
Actually, can I go into intrigue with this?
I feel like we were kind of at an end of things there.
I
Sounded
guess
like you
so,
guys
yeah.
had wrapped it up.
Yeah.
I'll tell you the intrigue part of this is as Caracle's leaving, Jeremiah Holloward is the next visitor and bangs into him and intentionally shoulder check shoves him.
Okay.
And then stands there to see if he does something. So Jeremiah is much more vivacious and alive than his father. He's got stringy black hair, but the dude is kind of bulked out. I'm thinking a younger Matthew McConaughey with black hair kind of deal.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, little Caracol, I didn't see you there. My apologies. And he gives you a mock bow.
Quite. It would be good to be careful knocking into the House of Cats. the house that your father continuously crawls upon his knees to my aunts, hoping for her hand in marriage. So 'twould do well that you be more respectful. 'Twould be terrible thing that your actions might cost your father the woman he wants to marry.
So Jeremiah steps in and brushes something off of Caracal's shoulder, and then whispers in his ear and says, "Oh, don't worry. My father's not the one who'll be crawling around on his knees." And then he pushes you aside and says, "Maid, by the seven, are you wearing a sword in a lord's house? What an insult you have dealt to House Winewood.
Not
Couldn't
at
leave it
all.
outside like all the others, could you?"
Well, we had heard tidings that bandits might be coming into the hall, and it would appear that the rumors were true, because here you are, bandit himself.
Is he causing problems? Where is this happening at?
This is happening like right at the door. Caracal, he's gonna pat Caracal on the hair, and then turn towards Sebastian and go to his meeting with Sebastian. He's super dismissive of Caracal. He's like, there, little Caracal.
Yeah, because like I have like my anointed knight there. Like,
yeah, Sir Matthias, do you want to do something? You want to have Matthias bust a move?
Oh, please.
I mean, he's seeing some problems here, but he'll wait.
All right,
He
yeah.
doesn't want to.
Jeremiah will
yes,
approach.
the lad of heroin. Howard.
He's gonna take a very respectful knee before you.
You flatter me.
Lord Sebastian Winewood. As you know, I am Jeremiah Hollowwood.
Indeed.
These are uncertain times. The Lannister attack on the Tullys has brought some distress to my family. However, we mean no harm to your people, and wish to assure the Winewoods that House Hollowwood will continue their long disinterest in your affairs. And we only ask that in the next few months, business between us continues as normal. You need not consider us a threat. We're not like the other Tullys.
Very well.
You may send a message to Tywin and the rest of the Lannisters and let them know that House Hollowwood stands for Joffrey Baratheon. And that any house which does not support Joffrey Baratheon will meet the end of a Hollowwood blade.
I will note.
Then
and
can
send a
I
messenger on their way.
Can I take back to my father the good news that our houses can continue their distant but trusted relationship?
Yes. We will remain distant and trusted.
Very well, my lord. I am pleased to hear this. Is there anything else that you would
that
ask
is all.
of?
Just don't cause trouble in my land and we'll be fine.
Very well. I understand. We won't cause any trouble in your land.
That includes not pushing people in my hall.
Ah, my apologies, Lord Sebastian. Caracal is so small, I failed to see him.
Right. I don't believe that, but
My lord, are you calling me a liar?
Oh God.
it's been a long day. And I still have visitors.
Of course, my lord. I would hate to take up more of your time than was necessary. Have a good evening.
To you as well.
Is there anything that Sebastian and Matthias wanted to do? Otherwise, the last meeting is Saramina and Caracal.
Can I get like can I get a spy to follow the
Boy.
guy?
Oh boy.
Matthew.
I mean, you don't have any spies. You can send Mathis though.
Kill
No,
him.
stealthy guy. Never mind.
He can try it though. You know.
I don't think he. It's good.
You're like, I
What
don't
is-
think he can.
I don't. You would know. Nah, well, I'll leave the guy be and keep the very.
If you
very
okay, so
thin string.
let me be clear here. If what you're looking for isn't like a stealthy, sneaky spy, but maybe like send an honor guard to follow Jeremiah around, that's certainly something you could do. You
Oh,
know,
yes.
like a servant who attends to him. Okay. Caracol meets up with Lady Saramina Zephyr. She's in her late 30s, a very Tyrellish way about her because she is from the Reach herself.
Mhm.
A green dress with lots of flower embroidery, less of a crown and more of like what do they call them? A choker?
Circlet? Oh, okay.
Choker. And she's like messing with Caracol's hair when we first come upon them. Caracol Cat, you are very grown up.
Why,
You have a
thank you.
dashing way about you with that sword, young man.
I thank you, ladies. I feel. You look like you have not aged a day since I last saw you.
That is very kind of you.
What
I-
brings you here?
No, please go ahead.
Pardon me, I did not mean to interrupt a lady, especially one who, a lady of a house who is very close to ours. But I was curious, what brings you here to Winewood?
I came here to meet with you. I was hoping to invite you to our tournament next month.
And what is the what type of
Oh,
arms?
there will be a joust and a grand melee and an archery contest.
Hmm.
I've been hearing a lot about your progress, young man, and I feel that you are one who could do excellent in the grand melee.
I see. I very thank you so much for you do me no justice by saying this. I am what I was gonna say, not you make me blush. This is not so. But thank you all the same.
She's gonna pinch his cheeks for sure.
Oh.
Like, oh,
Oh.
you summer nights, you're so cute.
Well, lady is a fair. I will have to check. As you know, there is quite a lot of happening in the region, and therein, I was actually returning to House Cats post haste to speak with the Lady Cat. It was of the utmost importance. As you know, these are uncertain times, and we must do a I must think upon this tournament as we are certainly preparing for any sort of disaster that could happen, as you know. But I will send the maester or the like with my reply as soon as I get back and have time to discuss everything with the Lady Cat, as I am not allowed to leave with to do that without her leave, as I am still under her command.
Oh, Saramina is gonna keep ruffling his hair and say, "Oh, look how grown up you've become. So responsible and doing what your mother says. If only I had a son like you. Now you run along home and you be a good boy."
Can I have some cookies too? It's like the old
Somehow,
lady candy. Here you go.
I don't
Some
think
hard
Saramina carries cookies with her, but
some hard candies maybe.
I don't even think that's a thing in Game of Thrones time.
I take a lot of sugar.
Yeah.
Well, maybe like the cherries and stuff, right?
Oh, of course.
Some
She
candied
definitely will.
cherries.
She'll have a lady in waiting hand cherries to you.
Oh my goodness.
There
I
you go,
was-
Caracol. They don't call it Cherry Hall for nothing.
Why, thank you, ladies up here, and do be careful, please, on your way back. You know not who might be about in these lands these days. It seems that few have respect for the law as they used to. So you
Oh,
be careful.
the Sapphire lands have had no problems with law lately. Our people are very well behaved.
Oh, that was not what I meant. But you do pass the wine woods and nearby Hollowwood. You have quite a
Oh,
way to
the
go.
Hollowwood lands. They are disaster. Bandits
So,
run wild.
yes, I met one in this hall just earlier.
She looks confused for a moment and then looks and sees Jeremiah leaving and says, "Oh my, what a uncharitable thing about to say of the young man."
Well, he's he's quite uncouth. If you had witness to our exchange earlier, you would probably say the same as well. He has no respect for honors and such, and definitely pushes his weight around.
Don't worry that you're so much smaller than him. I'm sure in a year or two you will grow very tall, just like your father.
One can hope. If, if not, I'll get platform shoes. Platform greaves. Platform greaves.
Of course. All right. Is there anything? I think that just about wraps up the Lionwood. Shall we have a meeting at the Stony Sept next? With the Maester, the Septa, and the Septon? I feel like that's the start of a really bad joke.
Slightly.
So the Stony Sept is a small sept. It's not like the one in King's Landing, the Sept of Baelor, but it's very historically important because several battles have been fought here, and in the future of Game of Thrones, several more battles will be fought here. Septon Earth is leading the services. He is a devout follower of all of the seven, but especially of the Smith. He's got huge arms. Like, it's clear this man used to be a blacksmith before he became a Septon. Why don't we hear about our good Maester Francis?
Mr. Francis is a older guy, bald head, wrinkled, and is missing like a few teeth, except for like one tooth in the front. And he is. Which one of these? What are these? Which one is? Which septum is from which nation? Or which house?
Earth is from Holloward, and Septa
Lexia.
Cat is from Lexia.
Oh,
is
okay.
From...
Yeah, I see cat now. Never mind. I thought it was like Cal. I misread that. That was my mistake.
Oh man, I love this huge bead of hesitation sweat from Caracol.
So Master Francis will just go up to Septicat and go, "Well, hello."
So creepy.
Good evening, Maester Francis. How are you, and how is Winewood? So nice to see you here, and unexpected at that.
Master does a bow to the Septum Cat. It is going well, except for the current problems, but I hear it's been relatively fine and mostly agreed upon. So there's a bit of less tension there.
Current problems? What might that be?
It's just a normal business. Don't mind that.
I
I was curious, how are things going back in Catlin?
Quite well, actually. As you know, we have been, kind of preparing, I guess, for unexpected events, which is, I guess, my new favorite phrase. This game. As you know, there's quite a bit of uncertainty in the land, so it is always wise to err on the side of caution. Wouldn't you agree, Maester, being so learned as you are?
Yes, yes. It is very important to get all your ducks in a row, so to speak.
I understand. So, what brings you here?
Oh, I've just come to pay my respects and mostly just stay for a bit.
Well,
Sir
Septa.
Sebastian's kind has mainly things handled there and seems to be capable enough to hopefully handle himself. Not the wisest chap, but he knows well.
I'm sure you've left written instruction as well, as you are always prepared, as you say, ducks in a row. But,
Yes.
well, as you said, oh, I'm sorry. Pardon me.
What, may I ask, is the Catlin aligned in these trying times?
We are trying to stay as neutral as possible until further observation and investigation can conclude more ready, more fruitful evidence. Again, erring on the side of caution, we do not want to stick our feet where they should not be stuck, so to speak, unless necessary.
Indeed, very wise, very wise.
And yourself, what are your opinion? What is your opinion on the matter at hand?
Well, personally, we're just trying to make sure people leave us the hell alone.
That can be a problem at times. Yes, I've heard that you've had some issues with Holloward doing that.
Indeed.
I think if there are no objections, Sept and Earth will show up at this point.
Okay. And he's the Septon from
He is
Holloward,
the
correct?
Septon from Stony Sept,
Okay.
and he's a Holloward Septon. What is this I hear of problems with Holloward? Master Francis, say it isn't so.
No. We have gotten along well. It was just speaking about the slight tension that we have between our houses.
I think he's going to put a hand on the shoulder of Lexia and Francis at the same time, and look up to the crystal set in the ceiling of the sept. Can we not all pray that the seven shine their light down upon us in these trying times and keep us from war and misery? Can you not take home to those that you spend your time with a message of peace on behalf of the seven from House Hollowwood?
Francis will pray along.
I'll bow my head. I kind of shudder at his touch.
Wow, holy shit. He'll take his hand off of you and say, Septa, my apologies. I should
I'm
not
sorry.
have placed a hand upon you without your permission.
Well, yes, one hears rumors, and so one must be careful. And it's quite cold in here, and your hands are colder.
He looks shocked and scandalous. Rumors! Rumors, you say? By the seven.
Yes, I assume I paid them no mind, but of course they are whispers in one's mind all the same. And I do apologize, but your hand was quite cold.
I will pray to the crone that she dispels these rumors that you have heard about me. For I am nothing if not a just and righteous man.
I would hope so. I do believe so. Being a Septon as you are, we are all, we all answer to the seven, and they see all and know all, but we cannot hide anything. And it would be a terrible thing for someone of our station to have scandal as such.
So he turns and looks slightly suspiciously at Maester Francis and says, That's true. We are all seen and judged by the seven. And that scandal should not happen. Don't you agree, Maester Francis?
Indeed.
Is there nothing you have to confess, my son? And he keeps getting closer and closer to you, judging you.
To confess? No.
Nothing at all.
Septon Earth, do uh, you must look at yourself and see what you are doing. This is not the work of the Seven, pressuring people into confessions and the like.
That's exactly.
Oh, I appear to be in a bad situation here.
So, Septa Lexia,
Yes.
I would ask that you do not lecture me on the Seven in my own place of worship. I
Well-
have been treating with the Seven for longer than you have been alive.
That
And
might
I am
be-
sure that the mother and the maiden both will help guide my old friend, Maester Francis, towards confessing any of his crimes.
Well, that might be true, but I cannot stand at the side and watch such an affront to the idea of the Seven take place before my eyes, whether it be in your seps or not. It is my duty to the Seven to ensure that their laws and their teachings are upheld. And this aggression and well, I would like to say fanaticism that's trying to get poor Maester to confess is, I feel, contrary to them. Maybe you should go back and read some books.
I feel like we're about to enter into an intrigue.
Okay.
I
Maester
appear to be
Francis?
caught in a religious debate.
Yeah, my question is, Maester Francis, are you in or are you out?
I have no idea what he could do because this is like,
If you want to step back and just let it happen, that's definitely a thing you could do.
I think you would probably step in and try to calm the two. Like,
That's not gonna happen.
yeah. So no, you just step back.
I'm
All
not.
right.
I'm not upset. I just cannot bear to see such aggression. You know, I feel very particular to the mother and maiden, who are kind souls, and I know that you are particular to the smith, and I see that that must be where this the aggression seems to stem from. But as we know, the smith is not the only part of the Seven. There are six more, and it would be wise to take all perspectives of the Seven into account when dealing with people.
So what do you want out of this man?
What I want him
What's
to
your-
stop trying to get him to confess.
your
I don't
objective-
want Maester to confess anything that I might not want him to confess.
Oh,
To him.
interesting.
At least. I don't
So
want him to come across as the good person.
Earth's objective is to get Septa Lexia to publicly recognize his authority on this matter as a religious scholar. It's not a matter of getting her to admit that she's wrong about this subject. It's a matter of getting her to admit that she's wrong in her reasoning. That this is exactly what the warrior, the father, and the smith do. They discern, they are stern, and they investigate.
Okay.
His disposition towards Lexia right now, I think, is amiable.
Let's see. Let me bring up Rule 20. Not that.
It's on page 180 of the book.
Yep. Okay. I'm gonna say. Dislike.
Ooh, oh, so harsh.
Actually, I might even. Can I? Where's the Septon's page?
God,
that
it's
on?
called Godsworn.
That's one. Okay, I just want to see something. Just want to just check something real quickly before I dig myself a potential hole.
That's a little late.
True. I too will do. I went scroll too far back. I'm gonna look at the modifiers real quickly. Uh, sorry about that. I'll do amiable as well.
All right. So a disposition rating of 3 and a +1 to persuasion dice. We're both rolling our status, which is 4 dice.
Okay.
Oh
Roll
man,
4.
no. Okay.
Oh wow.
Crushed.
Crushed.
You get to pick your technique first.
Let's see. Let me take a look at this. Well, I think it was golly, so many pages trying to scroll slowly. Doesn't always work. I think I'm going to do. I'm going to convince.
Okay. He is also going to try to convince.
Okay, and that's 5d6 plus 1, right? After our
S-
little RPG thing.
So it's 4. It's actually very complicated. Let me see.
Okay.
So it's 3 dice for persuasion, and then you get 1 extra die for convince. So it's technically 4d6. DL1.
So I just write 46 DL1
Yeah, +1.
plus 1.
And that should do it. Yes, it does. Wow. All right. So, bad things happen.
To whom?
You take nothing, and he gets hit for. Oh, it might actually come out to 0. Let's look here. With his DR, I think it's actually going to be a 0 hit. It is. 13 is not enough to convince him.
Damn.
It would hit, but it hits for 10 plus 3. So yep, 0. Turns out that Septons are really, really, really good at this stuff.
It sounds like it. Okay.
So we reset. It sounds like neither side can back down from this. We started out laying out our arguments.
Mm-hmm.
You get to pick what technique you'd like to use, and this time we're going to roleplay it.
I want to do the same thing.
Oh, that's true. You guys should be able to see the rolls. Same thing? You're going to go for a convince again?
Mm-hmm.
He's going to go for a convince as well.
Okay.
And he'll open up by saying, "Now, surely, Septalexia, you can see that I am in the right here. The father is a man of judgment." And he puts a hand on Maester Francis's shoulder and says, "Judgment, stern but fair judgment. And the warrior, also a male member of the 7, knows to separate the weak from the strong. I see weakness in Maester Francis, and that there is much in him to be judged for. That he has a lot to say, and that the mother will forgive him when he is done speaking."
Again, you start off with the father and the warrior, but then after the fact, bring in the mother after the fact. I think it is best that we take all of these teachings as a unified front. And how can one truly confess so pressured? How can one confess fully to what they have done? How can they be honest, not only with themselves, but with the 7? If you push him into a corner, now we all know that if you push an animal into a corner, it is never a good thing.
The Maester is no animal, and he has no need to confess before the 7. As you yourself said, the 7 see and know all. He must
So why must he
confess
confess to
for
you?
his own good, for the good of his own soul and heart.
One of the things I'm quite curious about, Septon Earth, is why you are so intense on having Maester the Maester confess to you. As we do know, Hollywood and Winewood have been on quite precarious terms. There's no denying that. No matter how verbose you might be and how you might try to dress up the situation, it is what it is. And so it seems quite suspicious, nay, as if there's an ulterior motive and agenda in this confession. As you said,
Oh my
and
god.
if you are a Septon, then you must know that he does not, as you said, he does not need to confess. So then why do you continue to pressure him? Unless it is
Septalexia,
for a
please.
selfish reason.
Might I take your hand for the moment?
No,
He holds his hands out in front of you.
no, you may not.
So he puts them together and says, Septalexia, look around us. What do you see?
I see a very small sept.
But it is a sept.
Correct.
Men come here to pray, worship, and to confess. And for Maester Francis to go so far from home, there is only one conclusion I can have, that he is here to confess. You accuse me of political meddling, or of seeing what is not there. But it seems it is you who is meddling in the matters that they are not attended to. Perhaps you should return home, where you are wanted, because it is clear to me that my friend Maester Francis is here to confess to me, and to the seven, all gods before all.
You know,
Let's roll some
before
dice,
so okay.
because
You
I
had
mean,
you had a third.
you've
go
laid
there.
into this guy so hard. You've destroyed him.
Okay.
I just imagine my friends just like, oh shit.
Okay.
Yo.
What?
Oh,
What
damn.
is going on
Oh.
here? No. All right.
Damn.
13. He takes a hit for 5. He will take the hit, bringing him down to 11 of 16.
That's a lot.
It is to you, initiative, to describe what technique you'd like to use in the next round.
I'm gonna do convince again.
You will also use convince.
If only there's like a medieval version of popcorn that friends.
It's like a drumstick.
You
like
would
chicken
dare
drumstick.
eat an accept? What
I
are you,
would.
some sort of monster? Let's begin the role
mother
play.
preaches nourishment and that we take care of each other.
So apparently I'm going to be here quite a while.
Grab a cup while you're
Septalexia.
at it.
Surely
Mine.
you can see that we will not come to a headway here. There appears to be little agreement between the two of us as to what will happen. But the fact of the matter is that Maester Francis stands silent. He does not protest for his innocence, and that says to me that he is a man who carries
I had
with
no
him.
idea. I could jump in if I can.
Yes,
No.
the narrator told you at the beginning of the battle and asked
Well,
if
it
you
was
wanted.
kind of like it was between you two, and I didn't want to step in.
Maester Francis,
I just came here to pray for the blessing for Winewood. Nothing to confess.
you have seen or heard nothing?
You must understand, though, that there's no set in Winewood, so it would make sense that he would come here to your set. Is quite much, very much the
Indeed.
closer set than, say, my sets in Catland.
Actually, I'd point out that they're almost exactly the same distance apart.
What?
Yes, they are. They're
Really?
almost exactly. They're within a percentage. Septa, it is you who is unwelcome here. For surely, if Maester Francis wished your company, he would have gone to your sept. But he
May I-
came here instead to enjoy my sermons.
So
I like
you're
the
saying that I
cone.
am not accepted here in a set that is open to all on the principles of
It
the
is not that
seven.
you are
And
not
not only
accepted.
that, but that I am a septa herself that is here to uphold their laws and their teachings. I say to you that if that is your stance on the 7 and your set, then I think that you need to go back to Septon school.
Cool.
I don't think that's a thing.
I don't recall that being a thing either.
Well,
Truthfully,
you have
I
quite a
came
bit
up
of
here because
reading
the
to
cold
do.
is better on my bones.
As you know, Septalexia, as if you paid attention in Septon school, that canon law says who is the leadership of each sept. And for you to come here and offer such insult to me in my own sept, you may speak, of course, you may preach and pray, but to dictate the faith to me in my own sept is unacceptable.
You must understand that I am not restricted by the laws of man, which is what you talk of right now. You speak of honoring yourself as a man, your laws and your rules and your set down by a man, not by the 7. Here I am preaching their glory and their teachings alone, not casting stones or creating rules myself.
Not casting stones, because a man, not casting stones.
Again, I say that there's no need to pressure someone into confession. The 7 knoweth, and they will remember everything. It is up to the maester himself, and only the maester himself, to come to terms with whatever sins or what's not that he has within himself and he wants to be freed of. And that is his choice when and where to do that. And it is, by God, just by the 7, I should say, remiss of you to pressure poor Maester here, disorienting him so when all he has come here to do is pray. Should you not be here welcoming him with open arms? And yet here you are besieging him with words.
Oh, boy. Oh, man. Okay. He's not going to roll. He's going to end the intrigue by quitting this conversation. I mean, I just want to be clear here. You've done some very, you've offered him some really serious insults. And he says, Septa Lexia, if you cannot respect the laws of the 7, then I will have to ask you to leave Stony Sept.
I must ask, though, is it the laws of the 7, or is it your own laws?
The 7 have placed me here in this time and place.
Correct.
It is by their will that I cast you from Stony Sept. This hallowed hall will no longer hear the false words you speak.
That's fine. I understand. I am sorry that you seem to be so misguided at the moment.
Doubling down on it.
Though I would like to say to Maester Francis, if you do seek a place to pray that is devoid of such aggression, and a place where you can openly meditate on your doings and have counsel on it, you're more than welcome to come with me to my set. I have a boat. It'll be quite comfortable.
What do you got for us, Maester Francis? Do you stay here? Do you go someplace else?
Quite a pickle I'm in now.
I think the two Seps turn to look at you. It's definitely Senpai and Senpai noticing you.
Personally, I'd rather stay neutral in the matter because I am. Honestly, I don't know what to think at this point.
You just leave.
I think I should take my leave.
Yeah,
Right?
the maester just goes home.
Run away.
It was quite an enjoyable time. Enjoy the visit. Thank you for your patronage. I will be leaving. Thank you.
All right.
Nice shaped hole on the door.
We're gonna be going on a 7-minute break. When we return, it's going to be Lady Cat, her heir, Lady Emmeline, Hallister Halloward, and a unit of archers inside of their good keep. Oh boy, I'm not looking forward to that one.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, he seems a little outnumbered. Especially when he's there to be a little sleazy. Hopefully y'all and the audience are enjoying this so far. Let me know in chat, because your advice will determine whether or not this type of game becomes a real show. And if you have a moment, take the time to thank Aerosido for doing these drawings here, and for Pondo and Lexi for showing up and being so awesome.
This is over. Yeah, this is amazing drawing.
It is fantastic. I am enjoying Passion Doll's amazing glory.
There's no slutting.
Yes, there's
Not
no
yet, it's all-
slutting yet. Don't worry. We'll
Because
get to
this foreplay in my stream.
when we'll get back. Lady Cat and Lady Emmeline can certainly do all the slutting they need.
Oh yeah.
Back in 7 minutes. Enjoy the break music.